Hello and welcome to the news on Sansad TV, your one-stop destination for all the latest updates from India and across the world. I'm Isha. Let's get started with the headlines. MEA issues advisory on fake IT job offers targeting Indian youths in Myanmar and Thailand, advises proper background checks of foreign employers and recruitment agents. Home Minister Amit Shah applauds the role of Sashastra Seema Bal, says it is on the brink of ending Naxalism in Bihar and Jharkhand regions. BJP focused on providing more opportunities to youth. Prime Minister Modi addresses the Yuva Vijay Sankalp rally in Mandi, says 14,000 crores allocated for national highways in Himachal. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar expresses confidence that India will become the third largest economy by the end of the decade. And External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar to address the UNGA tonight, present India's stand on global issues, including reforms for Security Council. A quick look now at our Flash News segment. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar meets counterparts for the Quad Ministerial Meet in New York. External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar co-hosts the L69 Group Meet on comprehensive reform of the UN Security Council in New York. Union Minister Prahlad Joshi criticizes alleged improper implementation of central schemes by the TRS government in Telangana. Civil Aviation Ministry to deploy 1924 private security agency personnel at 60 airports in place of CISF Jawans at non-core duty posts. CBI conducts searches at 56 locations across 19 states and a union territory, pan-India drive against circulation of child sexual abuse material. Punjab Governor reiterates position on seeking the list of legislative business, says Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann not being guided properly by his advisors. NH44 highway blockade near Kurukshetra in Haryana ends. Farmers' Union says both demands accepted by the Haryana government. Sri Lanka President Ranil Wickremesinghe declares high security zones surrounding the Parliament, Presidential Secretariat and President's House. Storm Tala slashes central Japan, bringing heavy rains and killing 2 people, thousands of households left without power. At least 73 migrants killed, 20 others rescued after their boat from Lebanon sinks off Syria's coast. Our top story. The government has advised Indian nationals looking for jobs abroad to verify the credentials of foreign employers and recruiting agents. The advisory comes in the wake of many Indians being lured to Myanmar as part of a scam. The MEA has said that fake job rackets offering lucrative jobs in Thailand by dubious IT firms have come to the notice of Indian missions in Bangkok and Myanmar. The ministry has advised Indian nationals not to get entrapped in such fake job offers being floated through social media platforms or other sources. The NIA has claimed that highly sensitive material has been found in the documents seized during the countrywide raids on the offices of the Popular Front of India. In the report submitted to the Special NIA Court in Kochi, the probe agency has alleged that the PFI has tricked the youth into joining terror groups like Lashkar-e-Toiba and Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. The report also said that the PFI carried out terrorist acts as a part of violent jihad and conspired to establish Islamic rule in India. The report claimed that the PFI worked to spread hatred towards India by presenting wrong interpretation of government policies to a section of people. Earlier, on the 22nd of September, NIA had raided 15 states and arrested 106 PFI leaders and activists. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has said that the Narendra Modi government gives top priority to strengthen the country's borders. Amit Shah inaugurated the building of 4 border observation posts at Fatehpur, Pektola, Beria, Amgachi and Raniganj at the SSB camp in Kishanganj. Addressing the gathering, Shah said that the open border of Nepal is challenging for security personnel. He asked the SSB Jawans to be vigilant to check infiltration, smuggling and trafficking of humans and animals from Nepal and Bangladesh. He said that the SSB should adopt the latest technology, including drones and CCTV, to ensure perfect security along the bordering areas. He asserted that Naxalism is on the brink of ending in Bihar and Jharkhand due to a tough fight by the SSB.
जो खर्च पहले 4,000 करोड़ होता था वो अब 6,000 करोड़ होता है, लगभग 3.5 गुना बढ़ोतरी रोड की लेंथ में हमने की है। तो ये बताता है कि सीमाओं की सुरक्षा के लिए भारत सरकार की प्रायोरिटी कितनी मजबूत है।
Now, Amit Shah held a meeting with the Directors General of BSF, SSB and ITPP at the BSF camp in Kishanganj to review the border security situation. He also offered prayers at the Mata Buri Kali Mandir in Kishanganj in Bihar. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the voters of Himachal Pradesh have decided to repeat the BJP government in the hill state, just like the voters in Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand did a few months ago. Prime Minister Modi addressed the Yuva Vijay Sankalp rally in Mandi via video conferencing as he could not reach the venue by helicopter due to inclement weather. He said that the youth know that BJP can provide a stable government and bring about development in the state. Prime Minister Modi asserted that his government believes in giving opportunities to the youth.
युवाओं का प्रतिनिधित्व सबसे अधिक है। ऐसा इसलिए है क्योंकि भाजपा देश के युवाओं पर, हिमाचल के युवाओं पर सबसे अधिक भरोसा करती है। अब देश की युवा शक्ति मिलकर आजादी के अमृतकाल में भारत को विकसित राष्ट्र बनाने का संकल्प पूरा करेगी। मंडी में हो रहा यह आयोजन इसी युवा शक्ति का, युवाओं पर देश के इसी विश्वास का प्रतीक है।
Now, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will address the high-level session of the 77th United Nations General Assembly later tonight. Jaishankar is leading the Indian delegation at the UNGA session being held in New York. He will present India's stand on global issues and reforms in the UN Security Council. The theme of the 77th UNGA is a watershed moment, transformative solutions to interlocking challenges. The minister has been participating in several meetings, including multilateral, trilateral and bilateral formats such as the Quad, BRICS and others on the sidelines of the summit. India has hit out at Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif for making false accusations against India during his address at the UNGA session. In a stern message, the first secretary of the Indian mission to the UN slammed Pakistan for sheltering terrorists behind the horrific 26/11 Mumbai attacks. He also accused it of sponsoring cross-border terrorism. Reacting to Sharif's address at the UNGA, he said that he has tried to obfuscate misdeeds in his own country and to justify actions against India.
But it is not just about the neighborhood that we have heard false claims today. It is about human rights, about minority rights, and about basic decencies. When young women in the thousands from the minority community are abducted as an SOP, what can we conclude about the underlying mindset?
Non-stop rain for the last 3 days in Delhi NCR disrupted traffic at many places in the city. Waterlogging was reported from many areas in the city. There were also reports of trees falling at many places. The Met Department has issued a yellow alert with heavy rain in some areas. Gurugram and Faridabad in Haryana are also witnessing heavy rains. The Delhi-Jaipur highway has been badly impacted with rainwater accumulating even the service lanes, leading to huge traffic jams. The Rajiv Chowk underpass in Gurugram was closed due to waterlogging. The road leading to the Tawaghat-Lipulekh National Highway in Uttarakhand was closed after a large portion of an adjoining hill collapsed near the area on Friday evening. The Adi Kailash Mansarovar Yatra route has been closed. Many pilgrims, including local people, have been stranded with long queues of vehicles on both sides of the road. BJP leader Vinod Arya was expelled from the party after the arrest of his son Pulkit Arya in connection with the murder of receptionist Ankita Bhandari at a resort in Pauri in Uttarakhand. The police arrested 3 accused, including Pulkit Arya, owner of the Vantara resort in Yamkeshwar. The resort was vandalized after a protest by local residents. Ankita was missing for the past few days. Her body was recovered today from the area in Rishikesh. The Chief Minister has formed a SIT under the leadership of DIG P. Renuka Devi to investigate the matter. He said the culprits will get the strictest punishment.
सभी दोषियों के खिलाफ सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई हो, इसको लेकर हमने डीआईजी पी रेणुका देवी के नेतृत्व में एक एसआईटी का गठन किया है, जो पूरे मामले की तह तक जाएगी, उसकी जांच करेगी और अपराधियों को सजा दिलाने का काम करेगी। चाहे कोई भी हो, अपराधी इसमें बख्शा नहीं जाएगा।
Moving on, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar expressed confidence that India will become the 3rd largest economy in the world by the end of this decade. He said this while addressing the Sadbhavna Sammelan in New Delhi to commemorate the 90th Foundation Day of Harijan Sevak Sangh established by Mahatma Gandhi. The Vice President described the mantra of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas and Sabka Prayas as Gandhian thinking, adding that it is not political. He also said that Gandhi's ideas were for the world and are still relevant as solutions to current challenges of conflict, starvation and climate change lie in Gandhian thought.
मुझे कोई शक नहीं है कि इस दशक के अंत तक we shall be the 3rd largest economy in the world. आज के दिन दुनिया में भारत की और भारतीय की पहचान अलग है। आज के दिन एक सपना है, श्रेष्ठ भारत, और उस सपने का एक आधार है, we were the best.
Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar said that the common people are happy with the benefits of positive measures and initiatives being undertaken in the past few years. The Vice President released 5 volumes of the book on Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay on the eve of his birth anniversary. The book is titled Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay, Jeevan Darshan or Samsamayikta. Dhankar said that India's value-based tradition was often mentioned in the writings and speeches of Deen Dayal Upadhyay, which is an inspiration for everyone. The Vice President said that today, India is the 5th largest economy in the world, but by the end of this decade, India will reach the 3rd position.
दीनदयाल जी ने कहा था, आई कोट, शिक्षा एक निवेश है जो आगे चलकर शिक्षित व्यक्ति समाज की सेवा करेगा, अनकोट। I see its reflection in the new education policy of 2020.
संपूर्ण जीवन का, संपूर्ण सृष्टि का यह संकलित विचार करती है और इसका दृष्टिकोण एकात्मवादी यानी इंटीग्रल है। टुकड़ों टुकड़ों में विचार करना विशेषज्ञ की दृष्टि से ठीक हो सकता है, परंतु व्यवहारिक दृष्टि से यह कदापि उपयुक्त नहीं है।
Time for a short break in the bulletin. Lots more coming on the other side. Do stay tuned.
The last few years that we see that the impetus from the government has been there to really focus on indigenization. Now is that you have a field ready where you can sow these seeds of indigenization and bear the fruits.
We have to identify the core functions of police. The whatever numbers we have must be allocated towards that effort.
We need to change our mindset The government needs to go the next step now to define Make in India, to say if a single vendor makes it and meets the GSQR, then so be it.
Welcome back. Time now for all the updates from the Russia-Ukraine war front. Kremlin's top spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has said that if occupied areas of Ukraine vote to join Russia, possible attempts to regain them by Kiev will be seen as attacks on Russian territory. He said that the Russian constitution will immediately take effect if the Moscow-organized referendums pass. 5-day voting in the eastern Luhansk and Donetsk regions and Kherson and Zaporizhia in the south began on Friday. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that the votes in Russia's referendums would be unequivocally condemned by the world, along with the mobilization Russia began this week. He said that these are not just crimes against international law and Ukrainian law, but crimes against specific people, against a nation. Zelensky also addressed the people in parts of Ukraine occupied by Russia and urged them to resist efforts to mobilize them to fight. The United States is prepared to impose additional economic costs on Russia if Moscow moves forward with the annexation of Ukraine, the White House has said on Friday. Washington earlier said that Russia is planning sham referendums in portions of eastern Ukraine. The White House also said that the United States sees no reason to adjust its nuclear posture after Russian President Vladimir Putin's recent comments warning the West. Russian Defense Ministry said that Russian aerospace forces launched high-precision attack near Kramatorsk and eliminated over 100 foreign mercenaries. On the southern front, Russia said that Russian aerospace forces launched high-precision attacks on Ukrainian positions and destroyed several military gears. Russia also said that the fighter aviation of Russian aerospace forces shot down 2 Su-25 airplanes, 1 MiG-29 airplane, 19 drones, as well as 40 rocket-propelled projectiles of Ukrainian forces. Ukraine said that it repelled Russian attacks in southern areas and destroyed several Russian drones. However, they suffered artillery firings from Russian forces. Ukraine's Southern Operation Command said Ukrainian troops hit Russian positions and equipment concentrations along the Dnieper River in the east of Kherson. The General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces said that Ukrainian anti-aircraft missile forces destroyed 7 Russian drones in the past day. And now, news from some other parts of the globe. Iran's President Ibrahim Raisi has said authorities must deal decisively with those who oppose the country's security and tranquility. Demonstrators have taken to the streets of Tehran and other major cities for 8 straight nights since the death of Mahsa Amini, who was pronounced dead 3 days after her arrest in Tehran for allegedly wearing the hijab headscarf in an improper way.
Protests continued overnight across cities in Iran into Saturday amid an explosion of outrage following the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini while in custody of the authorities. The young woman was detained on 13 September for allegedly wearing her hijab too loosely in violation of strictures demanding women in public wear the Islamic headscarves. She died 3 days later in police custody. Authorities said she had a heart attack but had not been harmed. Her family disputed that, leading to the public outcry. Videos filmed late Friday showed security forces shooting at protesters. Demonstrators can be seen chanting anti-government slogans and putting up barricades. Protests have taken place in more than a dozen cities. Iran Human Rights, an Oslo-based organization, said at least 50 people have been killed by security forces, more than 3 times the official death toll of 17. That includes 5 security personnel. On Friday, state-organized demonstrations took place in Tehran, with marchers calling for the execution of protesters. People marched through the streets, chanting and holding up anti-US banners. Morality police, attached to Iran's law enforcement, are tasked with ensuring respect for Islamic morals as described by the country's clerical authorities. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
Liz Truss's government in UK on Friday set out the most radical package of tax cuts for Britain since 1972. It reduced levies on both households and companies to boost the long-term potential of the economy. The pound and UK government bonds fell after the 45% income tax, the top rate paid only by the richest earners, was scrapped, and the basic rate was cut from 20% to 19%.
Britain's new Finance Minister Kwasi Kwarteng announced historic tax cuts and huge increases in borrowing on Friday in an economic agenda that floored financial markets, with British government bonds in freefall. Kwarteng scrapped the country's top rate of income tax and for the first time put a price tag on the spending plans of Prime Minister Liz Truss, who wants to double Britain's rate of economic growth. Investors unloaded short-dated British government bonds as fast as they could, with two-year gilts on track for their biggest one-day fall since at least 2009. As Britain raised its debt issuance plans for the current financial year by £72.4 billion. Support for household energy bills announced by Truss will cost £60 billion for the next 6 months. Tax cuts would cost a further £45 billion. The pound fell to a new 37-year low against the dollar of £1.1148 as Kwarteng updated the parliament. The opposition Labour Party said the plans were a desperate gamble. On Thursday, the Bank of England said Truss' energy price cap would limit inflation in the short term, but that government stimulus was likely to boost inflation pressures further out at a time when it is battling inflation near a 40-year high. Despite the extensive tax and spending measures, the government had decided against publishing new growth and borrowing forecasts from the Office for Budget Responsibility, which is a government watchdog, until a formal budget later this year. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
The Sri Lankan government has said the cooperation of lending institutions and countries will be very important to Sri Lanka to get the much-needed relief package from the IMF. The IMF had announced a loan of $2.9 billion to Sri Lanka on the 1st of September. It is expected to be finalized by the year-end. The amount will be disbursed over 4 years. The loan is intended to help Sri Lanka recover from its unprecedented economic crisis. Sri Lanka's credit rating is expected to improve after the IMF relief. And now, a quick look at our global wrap. US President Joe Biden has terminated the designation of Afghanistan as a major non-NATO ally. The move comes more than a year after the Taliban captured power in Kabul. In 2012, the United States named Afghanistan a major non-NATO ally that cleared the way for the two countries to maintain a defense and economic relationship. The designation gave several facilities and concessions to Afghanistan in terms of defense and security-related assistance and equipment. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken joined his counterparts on Friday from the Indo-Pacific Quad for a signing ceremony of the Humanitarian Assistance and Disaster Relief Guidelines. He said it lays the groundwork for more cooperation and coordination. The other members from Australia, India and Japan are in the US to take part in the UNGA. Italy's Democratic Party closed its election campaign with hundreds of supporters in Rome on Friday ahead of the country's parliamentary elections on Sunday. Given Italy's fractured political spectrum, no party stands much chance of winning enough seats to govern alone. The centre-right's solid campaign pact has the edge since the rival centre-left forces failed to forge a united camp. In Brazil's presidential race, leftist leader and one of the front-runners, Luiz Lula Silva, has seen his lead in opinion polls increase slightly over the far-right incumbent Jair Bolsonaro. Lula held his last rally on Saturday. According to the latest polling, Lula currently leads the incumbent president 47% to 33% and hopes to increase his lead by attracting voters in the middle-income state, which tends to see heavy turnout in national elections. An adorable giant panda was caught hiding in a tree hole and enjoying the surrounding scenery in southwest China's Sichuan province. The giant panda was caught by an infrared camera at noon on August 16th when it wriggled into a hole in a tree and hid there for 3 hours before it peeked out its head to enjoy the view. A video on the 15th of June recorded a giant panda scratching an infrared camera, resulting in several selfies. Time now for all the latest from the world of sports. India has levelled the T20 International Series against Australia after rain-shortened 8 overs a-side match played in Nagpur. Australia set a target of 91 for India. India reached the target with 4 balls to spare. Indian captain Rohit Sharma, who was the man of the match for his 20 balls 46 not out against Australia, now holds the record for maximum sixes in T20 internationals. Rohit now has 176 sixes in the shortest format. Indian women were all out for 169, batting first against England in the third and final ODI being played at Lord's. Only 3 batters could get into double digits. This is the last match for pacer Jhulan Goswami. Giacomo Raspadori's strike helps Italy defeat England 1-0. Italy keep their hopes alive of making it to the Nations League Final Four. Lionel Messi's expertly taken double helped seal a comprehensive 3-0 win for Argentina over Honduras in Miami to extend their impressive unbeaten run ahead of the Qatar World Cup. Tennis legend Roger Federer ended his remarkable career with an agonizing doubles defeat alongside longtime rival Rafael Nadal at the Laver Cup. Federer and Nadal went down to Team World's Francis Tiafoe and Jack Sock at London's O2 Arena. Pictures of an emotional Federer and a tearful Nadal have gone viral, showing to the sporting fraternity and to the world at large how well these two legends managed their fierce rivalry. Well, that's a wrap of the edition this weekend. Stay tuned to Sansad TV for all the updates round the clock. Do share with us your feedback on all our programs through our social media platforms. Thank you for watching. Good night.